Alright, next up in my I'm being way lazier about these now matchup series is Cervantes. Kind of a weird matchup because almost nobody seems to really play him online and there's a general perception that he's low tier, but he does have top player representation in Senchan, so if you're playing in Asia you probably need to be ready for him. I don't think many of my viewers, which I have few of to begin with, are playing in Asia, but that's besides the point. Also a special matchup to me because he's my dad's main. So leading right off with horizontal attacks, you've got Bridget Cannonball, which is a rather unique AAA string in that the last hit is mid, so if you try to duck the last hit, you're going to get hit. Right? But my bad. You can interrupt the last hit instead. 4A is probably your best option, but if you react to it instead of predicting it, you can go for your B6. Then you've got Pirate's Cross. This one seems pretty dirty because it's a simultaneous high-mid horizontal vertical. You can't step it, you can't duck it, but it's minus 16, which I think is more than that. So you get the AGA finish. Then you got Storm Signal, which is a similarly tricky move, hitting mid-high, right? You can guard impact that one and get the knockdown off it. I don't really know what other answers to offer. I think it is negative enough that you can, go for that to be at +2, but a tricky one to really answer. This one you can very much react to the second hit, just duck it and launch it. He also has a version that shifts to his red charge stance. That doesn't matter if you ducked the second hit and punished him. By the way, not punishable if you block the second hit. And then he has this one, which is 5k punishable. And that's about it as far as punishing on block. You can also, in theory, step out of it, but it only works sometimes, so I really wouldn't recommend it. See that time it hits. I don't actually know what causes it to hit first time hit. I think it might be when he's slightly off angle to start with, but there's no reliable reason. So I'd either guard impact the second hit or just take the 5k punish. Really, that version exists because if you try to duck preemptively for half-mast wave, then half-mast windmill is going to hit you. Obviously a 5k punish isn't much, but it might be enough to start to get him to go for the wave. Because in theory, the wave should catch you trying to sidestep windmill, but since you can't sidestep windmill anyway, yeah, just impact or take your 5k punish. So then you got Scissor Wave. And that's another just 5k punish. Or go for the guard impact. It actually doesn't have great range, so you might be able to get away with even just backstepping and whiff punishing it if he relies on that a lot. Sever Soul is a very standard 2A. Quick, not punishable, but get big guard impact, similar to a kick almost in that sense. Then you got Wave Break, Rising K punishable, you don't get Rising B. It's slow enough to launch, or even base hold parry if you really want to go for that, but the base hold does take more startup time than the jump, so it's probably better to just jumping B. Alright, Scissor Lifter. This one is weird because he has the on block sort of string for it. So I'll show you what I mean. It's minus 16, so you can... Wow. Sorry for being terrible. There we go. Significant block stun off the mid portion of that, which might be to let you react to this.
So be it.
That's totally safe. Step it and punish him pretty nicely, but if you try to punish him for the low mid piece, he gets a pretty nice frame trap that launches you into a dread charge combo. So yeah, be really careful trying to punish Scissor Lifter. Really, if Cervantes sees that Scissor Lifter gets blocked, he should probably always go for that third hit. Scissor Lifter just being the... So, it does not combo. So that version is a string, whereas this version is more of a low poke, and then if it hits, you can just hold it. So this, not really punishable. But you can duck it. Oops. Or big parry. Sever Soul crouching version, same. Just 2A, but out of a crouching stance. Cursed Blows. This one, another minus 16. But almost no block stun, so very difficult to do. May even be worth taking a smaller punish of some sort, but why not go for the AGA if you see it in time. Rounding out, you got his jumping A. If you recognize that he's spinning out of the jump, you can just duck it. You can also get the big guard impact if you don't trust yourself to react and duck. And then his facing away moves are the more standard variety of just 5A and 2A, but out of a back turn. Okay, so Cervantes vertical attacks. First up we've got Wild Storm, which is wildly unsafe. If he does all 3 hits, it forces you to crouching stage, but no rising B punish. You can also sidestep the 3rd hit. If you sidestep clockwise, you get back throw. Sidestep counterclockwise, you get B. For whatever reason, if you try to do that the opposite way, so if you'd stepped down in this scenario, the grab would have gotten a side throw, and if you'd stepped up, the Chief Hold B would have not triggered the lethal hit. I don't know why, but it seems the directions I just showed are the only way it works consistently. So next up is Storm Generate. It's really a combo tool, not so much something he's going to do on purpose. It's not punishable. It's kind of like a kick. You can block standing or crouching though, and probably just start pressure afterwards, right? So there's the actual use of it, is he sets up that combo. So Surprise Wave, I'm not sure what the real use of it is. I think it's just to wreck people who don't know the matchup. But as you can see, Siegfried has a really nice tool for it. If you can react in time, you can get the B6, and it will land as a counter hit against the guard impact, which lets you get a solid 41 damage. And he's got this kind of ridiculous flying kick that hits mid, even though it very much doesn't look like a mid, but it is very sidesteppable. gonna want to go for the throw though, because as you can see, the She-Fold is pretty inconsistent. You can react directly to the She-Fold instead of trying to step first. That was reactive, that doesn't count as reaction. Just showing the consistency of it. It's kind of difficult. You're basically just predicting at that point. This, you can 4A, you can also sidestep. Don't She-Fold, just sidestep.
Give up.
After the sidestep to get the lethal hit, She-Fold B. So then there's Dreadnought Culverin. Now this one is meant to be a Punisher hit type thing. As you can see, if the second piece hits, it does that follow-up. If it doesn't, then blockable doesn't happen, and it's -14, so you can always punish. And don't sidestep between those hits though. Like so. So yeah, if he does the full string, or a punish, you'll notice the startup on that is a lot slower. So you can just get behind him, go for the She-Fold B. If he only does the charged 6B, it's actually safe on block, so you'll have to just poke or start pressure afterwards. Cannonball Lifter is what I would call a standard launcher. It's just -14 launcher, not much else to say about it. Most launchers in the game seem to be about -14. Spike Anchor, I'm not really sure what the real purpose of it is. It's not punishable, you do get a big guarded back, and you can sidestep it, but not really on reaction. If you do happen to see it whiff, probably whiff punish with 3B, you don't have time to get all the way behind him. Submerged Harpoon is kind of like the start of, Scissor Lifter, but you can tell them apart because he visibly retracts the sword afterwards like that. So if he goes to pull the sword back out instead of going for the second hit, you can safely just rising finish and not worry about waiting for the mid to come out. If he does the charged version, you cannot punish with anything, so you have to sidestep it. Punish. And then that does give him more combo utility against downed opponents. So if you see him starting that up, probably try to roll to the side or something. So this one, step after the first hit, is punish. There's not much you're gonna get if he does all 3 hits, since he's so far away. You can guard impact with the 3rd hit, even if you can't sidestep between the second 2 hits. What he has to discourage you from just stepping after the first hit is he can do 4BK instead of 4BK. That will catch sidestep, will also frame trap you. Like so. You can impact it. And it's negative enough that you can start pressure with 6A. Do whatever mix up you do there. The wiki says it's -14, it's not. I can't punish it with 5K, so it's just not. You can get a counter hit if he mashes afterwards. And he's got this, which is kind of standard crouching vertical. You can't really punish it. Impact it, kick, And if you happen to be stepping, usually with it tracks decently well in this direction, but it does not track well this way. Then he's got the rising version, which, as you'll note, is not -16. And you can't really punch anything on the ascend either. If you do see it, you can try to get around him, but it tracks pretty well. It's hard to get properly behind him, because it tracks to the other side and he doesn't turn his back right to that side. But check this out. The version where he transitions to the stance is more negative, so up close like that you can get the lethal hit AGA. Careful doing that from far, because it'll whiff. And then he's got jump B. If you see him land, that means it's definitely not jump A, so you can go ahead and look right there. Again, the key difference is that he actually touches the ground again for that one versus jump B, or jump A. Wow, I can't talk. Cervantes' kicks are pretty standard. You got high kicks, mid kicks, low kicks, right? So his high kick is your usual kind of tracks, not punishable, but can be guard impacted. Of course it hits high, so if you're lucky you'll duck it. Then he's got this, which is pretty unique. So you want to sidestep, not cheap, hold spin. You see the flips, sidestep, backstabbing. And he's got this, which, again, you can't really punish it. Again, it's going to give you the good guard impact. But if you're lucky enough to have it whiff, you can back it. So if you do happen to be ducking and you see that, make sure you get your awesome punish as opposed to missing the opportunity and getting no damage. So standard. Low kick. Get rising K, but you can get rising B. You can get the good guard impact. And if you kind of predict it, you can get the launch. But if you react, you're gonna have to probably settle for the kick. One place where Cervantes is good, he's got a lot of good mid kicks. So he can catch you trying to crouch perfectly. That one doesn't have much range, this one has a bit more range. Still not punishable, still gonna catch you ducking. And still gave you the good guard impact. The difference is this one doesn't track as well. It still does have, as you can see there, a decent bit of tracking on it. And here's another low kick. Pretty much the same deal as the last one, right? I mean, same general advice. You can get the good guard impact if you get a hard read, or you can punish with rising K, but you can't really rely on jump B, even if you do get a good read. Same. So this is the one that's really punishable. You can get the launcher, yeah, the cheap old spin, and get the middle I would recommend taking a step first, though. He did catch me when I was trying to Ross there. It's kind of like a really short step. Maybe maybe I'm being silly. Of course, if you do end up not reacting in time to sidestep, you can just block the launcher. So this one's a 2-hit. You can get a regular kick punish, not much else. If you sidestep between the two hits, you can get a whiff push.
Give up.
Sidestep clockwise, because if you sidestep counterclockwise, it ends up turning to the side as opposed to this gives you his back.
Give up.
That's assuming he does the second hit to begin with. If he just does 4K, it's pretty much a regular kick. The crouching is the same as his regular 2K. Then he has the rising kick. You can get a 5K punish off the rising kick, that's nice.
What's wrong?
Of course you still have that. It does track sidestepping, so that kind of gives you an incentive not to hard read his rising verticals without the unsafeness that is his rising A. He's also got his jump kick,
What's wrong?
which in a lot of ways is similar to his other mid kicks, except for not sidestepping. As you can see there, you're not going to get his back, even if you do. So, go for the back throw instead of the chief beat. Also, that's kind of deceptive, right? The guy has two mid-hitting kicks that both involve jumping in the air, so you can't duck. That's weird to get used to. Also notice how he doesn't touch the ground, meaning you can reliably, if you see a jump where he lands, sidestep expecting the jump B. Alright, next up, dual button attacks. This is where a lot of Cervantes' signature moves are, including his gun attacks. So starting off with Dry Charge, it's a guard break attack that the wiki claims is minus 14, but it doesn't seem to be minus 14 at all. Probably going to want to go for the lethal hit check B here, and the reason for that being, he turns around to go into his stance, meaning that you don't actually grab his back when you go for the back throw. Despite that, the behind opponent lethal hit chief hold B does happen. Then he's got Pirate Scheme, which is just a horizontal parry that has a very small window, so it doesn't even always catch you off the horizontal. Killer X is this move. It's not punishable on block. If you happen to step it...
Get ready.
Come on, see. That's if you happen to step it. Probably not going to happen. So it's best to just block and go for the rising A pressure. Even Chief Hold spin ends up getting caught. So the gun, crouch, or sidestep. It's kind of hard to get the sidestep off in time, unless you're really close. If you're slightly farther back, just go for the wall rising B. And if you're very far back like this, then maybe base hold A to try and get in on it. If you're running in, you can also 6 B. And the automatic sidestep there will hit him. But it's almost impossible to react with that. So it's best if you're already Next up is this move. It only attacks aerial opponents, so it's combo fodder mostly. Despite that, I see some people just fire it off to taunt or build meter or something, so if you catch him pushing it, make sure you get the free whiff punish. If you're close, if you're not close, then I don't know, go for something better. So this move, you'll see a lot of Cervantes use this very frequently. It parries horizontals, and it is also plus on block. Quick demo. As you can see, his 5A beat my 5K. So, best bet here, you have two real options. One is to sidestep,
Give up.
and the other, my bad, it does have quite slow startup, so you can interrupt it. You risk getting hit for that. It's probably best to sidestep if you're doing it on reaction. But because of that slow startup, he can't use it that easily in pressure situations. It's often used as a way to easily get in after a sidestep when he's expecting a horizontal. And then if you happen to be doing nothing, he's plus on block. Pirate's Tactics is just the vertical side of his impact. You can't actually crouch or sidestep once that unblockable is triggered. I think I said something nonsense. It's the vertical guard impact as opposed to the horizontal one from earlier. This move. So, sidestepping clockwise gives you his back if you step it on reaction. It's hard to get all the way around. Actually, you can do either direction. The problem with that is the charged version does not, you're not going to get around him. It is still Rising K punishable. Here's the problem. If you're farther away, it's a low, but if you're close, it's a mid and it'll crush you for jumping. So if you're far away, do like 4-4B or something. And if you're close, just block it and hit him with Rising K. You're not going to get the sidestep because even if you, like you just saw there, are directly behind him, you end up getting hit with the shockwave. The shockwave again hits low. And on top of that, it's not even Rising B punishable, so you do have to jump it. And then if you try to 4-4B, you might get caught by the mid. I've heard some people call it the most overrated move Cervantes has, but it is pretty annoying. See, the reason it's overrated though is the obvious option. You see him starting to charge up like that, just counter hit him. For the faster option, and then for the slower option. Mid-turtle curse being the standard vertical overhead that almost everybody has. One reason why Cervantes' would be better is because you might get confused, think it's the gunshot, and duck right into it. May or may not have done that before. Okay, Geodore. So it's sidesteppable, but you'll never catch him if he's that far away. So if he starts it from far away, then you can go for the back throw. If he starts it from close, just run up to him and hit him. It's pretty telegraphed, right? And he has a pretty long delay after that backstep teleport. But this is probably going to hit you as if you're trying to attack, and it ends up whiffing because of the backstep. Let's see. This move. Rising K punishable. Sometimes you get lucky and he ends up behind you. You don't always get his back perfectly, but it's worth giving it a shot. That is a lot of damage. But what you gotta watch out for is make sure you're blocking at first when he goes over your head, because he has a version that does intentionally backstab. And it's only -4, so this might trade with his 5A, even though it's a decent pressure starter. So every now and then, if you do end up trading afterwards, go for the occasional 4A. If he does it too far away, unfortunately you don't really get a back throw, but he does end up whiffing. He has the move that comes out of that flip, just the back turn stab. He can do at any time while back's turned by pressing B plus K, and it's still just a -4 start quick pressure afterwards type scenario. So Flying Dutchman is only 5k punishable. It's a classic, he's had it for a long time. Considering the amount of damage it does on hit, that's pretty good for only being a kick punishable. Obviously the flaw is that it's extremely whiff punishable. Okay, for 8-way run moves, obviously the startup ends up looking the same because he's moving before different attacks. For lagging wave, if you see it in time, duck it, but it's kind of hard to see it in time, so if he just does the attack and you block it, make sure to get your free tiny bit of damage there. However, better than that, it might be better to just always go for AGA if you block it, because if he tries to transition to red charge, you block. Oh, missed it there for some reason.
Get ready.
So I swear, earlier, there we go. Must have been really late with that first one, or too early. Oh, just late.
Get ready.
But it's a matter of getting a knockdown versus getting a ton of damage, as opposed to just getting damage. So Bloody Hoist is also running towards you, so if you try to duck, you might get hit. And he also can get you trying to step behind it. Step counterclockwise, you can kind of get behind and get back though. It is kind of hard to react to. So you can get your 4A punch. Not -16 though. The Gibbering Torpedo. 2-hit low where you can miss the first hit and still block the second hit. It's rising K punishable. With this one, he can also transition to Dread Charge after the first hit. So, just watch for what he's doing. It does seem like, even if he tries to use an attack there, you can still hit him. Sorry. I messed up. But he has that to catch you, trying to catch him. So it's only the charged version here. So just to demonstrate, if he goes into Dread Charge, you can't hit you to interrupt him with a rather slow attack. But if you try to predictively do 3B or something, so 5B works, but 3B is going to get you stabbed with that big attack. It's pretty slow, so you should be able to react to it, even if you're expecting a low and stand up. But it might catch you if you get hit by that first one and crouch into it, or if you try to 3B the Dread Charge startup. A Merciless Wave is a backstepping high, a bit more reactable to duck, and not punishable. What that's kinda designed to do, he also has a Dread Charge version by the way, which, that one is interruptible, if not punishable still. But it's baiting you into getting caught by this. It's similar startup and then you get stabbed. Fortunately this, well, I'm terrible, is AJ. Next up we got Bell Lunges, which I'd argue is one of Cervantes' signature moves.
How could I lose?
Does a lot of guard damage, attack throw on hit. It's minus 14, so you can get your 4A punish. There's Riot Storm, which isn't really punishable at all, but it is decently negative, so you can come up with Rising A and move to whatever pressure from there. The thing about Riot Storm that's kind of annoying is because he's sidestepping, unless you're stepping with him, in which case you can't. It's pretty hard to sidestep it with. You can also end up in these weird situations like that, where you switch sides. But do try to go for the lethal hit. So Dread Pressure. Get 4A, not much else. It is pretty good at catching sidestep. Especially since he turns around and stabs behind him. You can't really grab his back regardless. So in this case, you're going to get just a whiff punish. Usually you're going to get stabbed. He does have a guard break version of this when it's charged. Now this one will lethal hit if he catches you, but it's very reactable, and you can lethal hit yourself. Back throw timing is very weird, so I would recommend just going for the Chief Hold punish. Spellbreaker, which actually is AGA punishable, but only up close. If he's too far away, you can end up in a situation where block stun is different, and AGA will also whiff. AGA does end up with punishing, even if he's pretty far away. But if he's at max range like that, it's probably a better idea to just take your free, like, what, 20 damage or whatever it is, 16 damage. There's not much else that can hit him at max range. If he does just barely whiff, you can go for the AGA punish still, it just obviously won't be a lethal hit. Head scratch kick is a weird one. Just a mid-hitting kick. Pretty standard properties, right? Start pressure on block, or if you react to it, which is kind of difficult, you can guard impact. Anchor side kick, another one. This one though is pretty reactable thanks to the guard impact startup. So it's kind of easy to impact yourself, but be aware it's another mid-kick. Like I said during the kick section, Cervantes has a lot of quick mid-kicks. None of them do that much damage, but he's pretty good at finishing you off when you're down to a pixel. He's also got the much slower version here, which, this one, even if you impact, first of all, it messes up the impact timing. Second of all, it's not the level 3 impact anymore. It's still, I think, minus 10, so you can still just start pressure after blocking it. Or you can, if you're feeling the wave, try to interrupt it when you see the impact start up. It's a horizontal impact, and the charged version will lethal hit and give him a nice combo. But that doesn't really stop you from interrupting him with a vertical if you're feeling brave. This is a pretty standard low kick. A different thing that Siegfried has himself, really, minus not being a stance transition. This one's weird because the frame data is inconsistent and end up plus afterwards. So you kind of want to sidestep and get the Chief Hold B. You can also go for a back throw, but it's you have to kind of wait for him to start to stand up, or else you'll whiff. Night Raid, not punishable, I think -6. So it's enough to go for 6A afterwards, and then do your 6AA versus 6AB. Or just 6A stance, as you might prefer. Tornado Slice is -12. As you can see, it doesn't matter because your full frame lives. So, same boat, right? Start pressure as you can.
Feel the pain!
This one
Feel the pain!
is -12.
Feel the
Actually,
pain!
12 frame punishable.
Feel the pain!
Probably better.
Feel the pain!
Just get behind it and lethal it. Especially since the startup looks similar to this.
Feel the pain!
You have to get around a lethal hit. So you just preempt the unblock. He's got a lot of that Dark Flame teleport into various Dread Charge situations. Personally, I am a fan of always reacting to Dark Flame with the Sheeple.
Get ready! Get ready!
If he goes away, go for the A+B.
Get ready!
And if he ends up next to you, you can G4B.
Get ready! Get ready!
If he ends up really far away, then you can just,
Get ready!
I don't know, keep stance transitioning, try to wait for the teleport so you can spin around it and get the punish that way. Dread Compass, or Dead Compass, sorry. This is an untechable throw that does no real damage. You want to crouch it. Where it has utility is that will wall splat you. I have died a decent number of times from having my back to the wall and getting hit by an untechable grab into, you know, critical edge or some such thing. And last, standing slide. So that's it for Cervantes 8-way run moves. Alright, special moves, teleporting around and stuff. All of these come out of either his Dread Charge or Dread Storm stances. So there's your Dread Charge. You may have noticed some of his normal attacks transition into that. So first off, this one actually doesn't come out of it so much as it just is the same input really fast. That's just a great new array. You can punish it. He also turns his back landing so you can get back to him. But unlike normal Deodore, it's a handy little tech pouch, so you cannot AGA punish despite it being very negative. Next, Jam Onslaught. That's plus unblock, so do not try to do a kick or anything there. What you want to do is duck. So you see how he jumps, that's what you're reacting to. React to little hops and crouch and punish. Just regular Deodore, which, like I talked about, a lot of block stuns, so maybe buffer that AGA there. But quite punishable. He also has a version that transitions into Dreadstorm. But if you blocked it, it doesn't matter because it's still AGA punish, regardless of whether he's doing a stance transition or not. Then he's got this silly version where he flies way far away. But the whiff recovery on this is approximately 1 eternity. So if you see him just fly away, don't let him get away with it. On top of that, if you happen to be in Dark Legacy, it does count as a whiffed attack. So you can get quite a bit of damage there off of 6A+B. He can transition into Dreadstorm out of that one too.
Get ready!
Like I said though, he's not against the wall, he won't bounce off and it won't matter. Then he's got K here. This is also plus on block, so do not mash after blocking this, unless you're getting way into the mind games. But it is very sidesteppable. Unfortunately, this attack isn't really turned during it, so you can go for the cheap B and just not lethal hit, go for a regular combo. I'm not really sure the optimal punish for this one, to be honest. I would suggest, like I said, going for something like that, and then getting a regular combo, or you can try a gimmick. This one, however, I'm quite sure of the optimal punish. It's negative a gajillion, so you get your lethal hit. Sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about, apparently. During the kicks, right?
Get ready! What's wrong?
So...
Get ready!
What's wrong? Kick! This ends now!
I don't know that that's necessarily optimal, but it is really easy to do. And because you're Siegfried, your A plus B after a guard impact is almost guaranteed to give you a minor mix-up situation. If it doesn't lethal hit outright. Okay, so moving on from that, he's got his teleport.
Get ready! Right!
Does a lot of damage, but it is sidesteppable. The front version, you can get a back throw off of. However, the version where he teleports behind you, the personnel kid, is almost impossible to get a back throw off of. So probably best to just start sidestepping when you see it come out and go for the 3B. He's got a little special step dash. I don't really know what to do about it.
This ends.
I would just try throwing him when he runs up in your face. Don't let him run up in your face. Then there's Dreadstorm, right? The stance where he bounces off the wall. According to the wiki, these are all very negative, but I have not seen that in my personal experience with this weird stance. Oh, he's gonna fly out of the arena.
Get ready!
Maybe not.
Get ready!
See, you end up in this awkward back-turned position, and he's not really punishable. I'm not sure what the frame data on it is. Maybe best to just... Yeah, you can't even sidestep, you'll get lethal hit. That's a weird one.
Get ready!
The rolling Geoduray is similar.
Get ready! Get ready!
I think that might have been what I just blocked you.
Get ready!
See, doesn't seem very punishable. Probably just have to hold that if he bounces off a wall. And then you block it. However, the low version...
Get ready! Get ready! This way!
If you happen to see it coming and block it, you can get the Rising K punish. And then last up...
Get ready!
He does have a version where he teleports. It's just a teleport. Nothing much else to say about it. He can do maybe some kind of follow-up out of there if he makes you whiff. But I would say just throw him or poke at him when he teleports in front of you like that. And that wraps up Cervantes' special moves. So yes, I have noticed that I'm forgetting to switch stages between move types like I normally did in my other videos. Part of that is just trying to get this out of the way, and part of that is because I've been recording these way too late at night. So, starting right off, Deep Sea Storm Flare. This takes one of his old strings and adds a teleport at the end. So, if you try to sidestep and punish that hit like you normally would, you get bopped. Instead, you gotta wait for the fourth hit. You can Chief Hold Spin out of the third hit. Sometimes end up getting lucky, but not worth the risk. So here's a kick, a teleport at it. You can foray. You'll end up catching it regardless of whether it appears in front or behind. I think it's technically minus enough. Yeah, there you go. That's if he teleports behind you, it doesn't work. So it's up to you what you go for. Alright, Deep Sea Cannon Flare. As you may remember, this one used to be punishable, but now if you try to punish, he'll just teleport. So, same as the other teleport reactions, you want to sidestep and 3B launch him. Vile Tornado, making those much more dangerous than Soul Charge. But the second two hits are high, so just block it and Rising B punish like you do with the normal low slide. Alright, Treacherous Double Lunge. This is like, yeah, Bio Lunge or whatever it was. But he runs up and appears behind you.
This way.
And it's not for a punishable anymore, not even in range for a kick.
This way.
If you try to interrupt, you might get launched.
This way.
As you can see, it's kind of annoying.
This way.
But you can sidestep after he teleports. Attempts to get behind him, but it's actually
this way.
Like there, I actually sidestepped and he still got
This
me.
way.
So probably best to just go for 3B. That's pretty cool.
This way.
Yeah. Legitimately don't know why it catches sometimes and not others. It might only track in one direction.
This way.
So
This
up,
way.
down. That makes sense. Raging Geodore. So this is quite a move.
Take this. Take this.
Just adding instantaneous Geodore that guard breaks. Follow up to that. But that means you can sidestep out of it. Just usually you're not going to be able to do much. But do make an effort to hit him if you have your super available.
Take this. Let's do this.
That'll work.
Taste the power of my
Also, try to catch him with 668 plus P.
Haven't had enough?
Get ready. Entertain me.
So yeah, now he can stance transition out of teleport. But you can still just
Get ready.
interrupt him, and also sometimes he still appears back to you. Unfortunately, the stance prevents you from back throwing, so probably just 3B.
Get ready.
Or react like I was saying to the other portion, where you just react to teleports and Chief Hold always.
Get ready.
Right?
Get ready.
Oh, he's gonna kill himself? No, okay.
Get ready. Get ready.
It's more dangerous to chase him down that way now, though, because he may just do some type of red charge attack right into you. Then you got Shooting Skies, which that's quite a move, right? He can do the side one and then come after you, but you can punish with 3B. Or a very delayed AGA. So if you do it too early, he gets away.
Get ready!
This version is guard break, so
Get ready!
You're mine!
don't really know what to say here. Try to chase him down.
Get ready!
Same as before, if you got the super, you might be able to get him. Otherwise, yeah, it's best effort to catch him, maybe go for the classic slide,
Had enough?
and hope that the low opens him up by coincidence. But sometimes you get pretty close to, so you know. Probably just best to poke or start pressure there. It's pretty hard to catch him.
Get ready!
This is the same as before, where
Get ready!
either rising K or sidestep. That one you don't have to poke afterwards. It doesn't go very far, so it's almost a guaranteed punish. This is the same as I was saying before, just let him just teleport in your face, grab him or something. Here's a Furious Geoduray. That's just a regular one. He's got to be near a wall for this to go off. Guard breaking Geoduray again, so up to you how you deal with the post sidestep. Either just keep playing neutral or try some kind of poke. This is just combo filler. That gunshot combo gets powered up afterwards. One thing that's unique here is he gets
I'll stump you out!
that combo filler bonus in Reversal Edge as well, so Reversal Edge B becomes stronger, so the rock, paper, scissors game becomes a little weirder. Because, you know, you want to go for K to stop him from getting the powered up B, but then he knows you're going for K, so he goes for A, Princess Bride stuff, you know how it is. His forward grab also gets, well, it's a new grab altogether, but it's a forward technical grab. Oh, come on, Cervantes. Whoa, what are you doing? There it is. So yeah, it's front escape. It doesn't have a back escape counterpart to this, but it's a very high damage grab. And then, before I get to his last gauge attack, I do want to show something from before that I didn't catch. Where is his flyaway move? Okay, flyaway, right?
Get ready!
You can also get him with 6-6A.
Get ready!
Significant not just for the ring out potential, but because you get base hold A as a follow-up, which is both a tech trap and will combo if he stays on the ground. And rounding out the gauge attacks is his super, which is kind of awkward to punish.
See hell?
So there my back was to the wall, so it's pretty simple and easy. When he's far away,
See hell?
it sometimes whiffs and it sometimes goes right through me.
Want to see hell?
I'm not able to reproduce it going through me, but I swear it's happening.
Want to see hell?
Standard punish for most supers, I feel like I haven't had one of these in a while. Ivy and
Want to see hell?
Killick and Super Company, who all don't have AGA punishable supers. Let me try it.
Want to see hell?
So yeah, sometimes it'll whiff. You've got to be able to notice the whiff and get a real punish.
Want to see hell?
But it's got pretty decent range, so whiffs are rare, so you really do have to be able to notice quickly if he didn't
Want to see hell?
get blocked.
Want to see hell?
And so now, we've rounded out Cervantes' gauge attacks and Cervantes' moveset as a whole. hope you enjoyed, even though nobody but me is probably going to watch this, and I'm probably going to have to move on to much quicker, shorter videos as we approach EVO, because I don't have time to do this for every single character, unfortunately.